So why is curved shot overpowered? This is something that I think about at least a little bit, or sometimes a lot, like the different mechanics of the game, how they're good or not, or how they're like game changing, or in some cases game breaking. And curved shot is one of these combat arts that is so good, I run it on pretty much every single one of my physical units. So why is it so good, and what does it even do? So curved shot is a combat art for the bow. And what it does is it lets you shoot up to 3 tiles away. So let's go to a unit that actually has it. Alright, this unit has break shot, which is very similar, but let's actually go to curved shot. Break shot is also just as good, but it has less accuracy. Okay, curved shot. +1 might, that's not really the important thing. Hit +30, 2 to 3 range. Very simple, -3 weapon durability. So let's look at this in practice, right? That's it in theory. So let's look at it in practice. So we can shoot this enemy Pegasus Knight with curved shot. We can hit a 50 on it because, you know, Pegasus Knights are weak to bows. And we have an accuracy of 63, and that's with hit +20. Now what if we were to adjust our range and shoot at it from this range? Well, now you have 93 hit. This is one of the reasons why curved shot is overpowered. It has really good range for when you need it, and it also has extremely good accuracy for when you need it. So when you need reliable, consistent damage, this is one of the most consistent hitting attacks in the game, period, especially for maddening mode. If you need to hit a fast enemy that is very dodgy, curved shot at 2 range is one of the most consistent things. Now there are more consistent things, and there are more consistent builds. However, in general, this is always accurate, and in very rare circumstances is this not useful to do, or, you know, generally a good idea. But you can see the difference there. I can hit 60% or I can hit 93% at 2 range against a fast enemy with high speed that also has +10 avoid. So 2 of the reasons, range and accuracy, and then a third reason, damage. A fourth reason is it's almost guaranteed to hit at 2 range. So let's take Sylvain, let's see how he does with his curved shot. 100%, that looks good to me. 100% hit rate. He doesn't even have hit +20. Bernie does, but even without hit +20, let's see what he hits here with curved shot. All right, now 84% chance to hit a fast enemy with +10 avoid. That's crazy. That's very accurate. 84% is a really good hit rate. Obviously 100 is a perfect hit rate, so you can't go wrong with that. And he's on a paladin, so he can literally move in, shoot this, and then move out. This is one of the fundamental reasons why this is so good. You have range, damage, accuracy, almost a guaranteed hit at 2 range, very high chance to hit at 3 range, usually almost guaranteed. You can use it on Canto units to push out into enemy lines, poke them for some damage, and then retreat for free, and do this with every single one of your units with flying or on a horse. Any of your units with Canto. So this skill, this single skill, lets you break apart enemy positions with very little thought or planning. And if you have it on every single unit, whenever you need burst damage, you hit them in melee. Whenever you need poke damage, or just to combo something outside of its counterattack range, you have curved shot. So on any single unit, it's good. Even without bow mastery, if you just run a hit +20, that's better than bow mastery, because bow mastery I don't even think gets you +20 hit. So if you just run a hit +20, it'll increase your accuracy with every weapon type, including bows, and that's a better alternative to running bow mastery. Let me find a unit with high bows if I have one, just to see what it gets to. Here we go. All right, so let's look at rank 3, for example. Yeah, +10 hit at rank 3, so probably scales up to +15, I want to say. +15 hit. That's definitely worse than +20 hit. But you can run it generically, right? You get your bow prowess, and you can run it if you want to, but hit +20 is basically better in most cases. All right, so for example, we could have Sylvain do this, as we showed. Shoot this guy. Come back. And we could probably last hit it, you know. This has 8 move, kind of similar thing. Pretty accurate. All right, then she can drop back too. All right, we can check to see. All right, so he's not going to kill me. We can just kind of check the rest of the enemies. So we took out that flyer, and then nothing else can really hit us except for, I think, this guy. This dumb siege weapon. And this guy can do like some damage, but he can't kill anything. And then the rest of these guys can't really do too much. I'm surprised he won't attack Flame. That's weird. He could probably kill Flame. I guess they're going to try to kill her this way. But you can see the upside of Curve Shot. I was able to kill this unit without overcommitting to a position. This is another key thing for maddening mode. I was able to deal damage without overcommitting and get out. Get in, shoot, get out. That's the key thing why it's broken. It's good on Kanto units, you know, mounted units. So Paladins, it's really good on Wyvern Lords, Wyvern Knights, Pegasus Knights, Falcon Knights. All of these are really good classes. Obviously, it's good on Sniper. But the big upside of using it on mounted classes is the mobility. Being able to maneuver your entire army and have like 5 curve shots ready to just start picking apart a position is ridiculously strong and will trivialize maddening mode. More so than like broken gambits, in my opinion. Because the like short-term fights, like the squad fights where you're fighting like 5 or 6 things at a time, become so easy because you just simply kill 2 to 3 enemies, maybe like half of them, you know, like 3 to 4 of them, before they even get to you. And then by the time they get to you, most of their forces are gone, and then you can just clean them up with like bows or with melee weapons. So if I were to, for example, go attack this with a melee weapon, I can attack it. I can even kill it with Thunderbrand right now. But now afterwards, I can't Kanto, and I'm just stuck out of position, and I'll need to get like rescued by Flame. However, if I curve shot this, I actually can't because she doesn't have curve shot, because she's still. I just got Catherine, but if she had curve shot, she could shoot this from here. She would have to move 1, 2, 3, 4 tiles, then she could Kanto 2 as a Pegasus Knight, and then I could draw back with Flame and probably pull her to safety, and then I could draw back with Dorothea to pull Flame out of danger. But that's like that little bit of difference, like being able to Kanto even like closer to safety. It doesn't even have to be completely safe. Just like Kantoing into like warp range, or not warp range, into rescue range, or Kantoing into, you know, drawback range is huge and is a huge difference maker in maddening mode. Okay, so let's see what else we got. Okay, the other thing with bows, having a bow on a flyer and even on a mounted unit like a horse is really good for dealing with Pegasus Knights, which are very dodgy. So if you have, you know, poor accuracy against them, using curve shot against them at 2 range is extremely accurate. It counters them, and also you can always just use the bow as a bow, so I can just like fly up to something and just like shoot at it. So I can just straight up drop this dude with a silver bow by doubling. Bows are decent damage and lightweight and great accuracy. So just by virtue of having, you know, an iron bow plus, a silver bow plus, these are the best bow types for their damage and weight. Just by having those on a flyer that can double will get you kills at range that you wouldn't otherwise get. And just being able to hit like a few more tiles out for lethal damage will extend your unit's range and extend your unit's effectiveness. So having 8 movements plus effectively, you know, 1, 2, or 3 range. Your 1 range is your melee weapons, your 2 range is your basic bow attack, your 3 range is your curve or break shot. Having all of that adds up to making the unit extremely overpowered, frankly, but you can hit effectively at 3 different range types for your damage carries, which I would argue physical units are damage carries in this game. But aside from that, there's other things. There are abilities just like curve shot. So here's break shot. So let's look at break shot. So less hit, more might, and it reduces defense by 5. This is really good at hitting monsters and enemies that have multiple health bars with, because it will permanently reduce their defense. Well, not permanently. It'll temporarily reduce their defense for an entire turn. So you can shave off multiple health bars. This basically increases the damage of each physical attack by 5. So if you're doubling enemy monsters or bosses or quadding them, this damage adds up, and this debuff sticks until the end of turn. So this is massive. It does have less accuracy, and it does have higher base damage. So if we look at this at 2 range, it's still quite accurate, and it hits a 40, and it's going to put a debuff, which won't really matter, but in this case, I'm probably better off just shooting it because I'll double. So you can see here the power of bows. Like if I'm a flyer and I have a bow and there's another flyer, I'm just shooting it down. It's gonna die. I could have terrible strength and I'll still double it for lethal damage if I have high enough speed. So even it's outside of curve shot, just having the bow on a flyer. So like let's say I have a flyer that uses swords, which sometimes you can do that because some swords are actually really good. So some swords that are good, Sublime Sword of the Creator is good, Silver Sword is good, Cursed Aisha Sword is good. Armor Slayer Plus, it's okay. It has 100% hit, which is pretty good. It's basically like a slightly stronger but heavier Iron Sword, but the upside of it, if I go attack an armored unit, so like if I go attack this armored unit, this is why I have it, specifically for this reason, it just fucks them up. Like, that's why I have it. You just easily kill them in 2 hits. And it's weapon triangle. They're an axe, you're a sword, armor slayer, they're gone. So if you look at this character's build, I don't have bows on this unit on Byleth because I always have other things with bows around me. Like, Byleth is always near other allies. But we have, you know, Iron Sword Plus for just, like, doubling, like, enemy archers. Let's see. So, like, for example, here's an enemy archer. Lightweight, high accuracy sword. Tends to kill things. This dude's in trees, so the accuracy is not that good. It's 65. So he's 30 more evasion, but it'd be 95 otherwise. He might be in a 40% tree tile, too. Let's see. Yeah, he's in a 40% tree tile, so I'd have 100% accuracy. But you can see the advantage of swords because they're lightweight and highly accurate, so I can attack into things. This thing is in, I have 81 hit, and he's in trees. And that's not bad. Let's see what trees he's in. 40. So against 40% dodge trees, I still have 81 hit, and then against 40% dodge trees, I have like 65 hit. So that's pretty good. But Iron Sword Plus generally doubles archers. Silver Sword Plus can also probably double it. So let's check that out. Not as accurate, but the damage is much higher. I'm almost one-shotting it. I literally can just one-shot it with this. Just straight up hit a 40. If anyone tells you swords are bad, they don't know what they're talking about. They're fine. Swords are fine. Now, obviously, if I were to attack this guy, just bust out the bows, shoot him down. But that's the upside of bows, bows in general, and of specifically curve shot. There is one more use case, and that is picking apart monsters. Monsters have 1 to 2 attack range. So curve shot gets you at 3 range. You can start breaking tiles outside of their effective range, get easy armor breaks. Once you get a chain going, like once you break a tile, they can't counterattack until you hit them once, then they can. You break a tile, then you'd use a big attack, break another tile, then just break all the tiles, armor break, it can't counterattack. Can't use attacks on its next turn, like allowing you to buy time, allowing you to pick apart monsters. For these reasons, I always run curve shot on every single flyer. Sometimes I don't on like one unit, like in this case Byleth, but I have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units with it, and then Catherine will get it eventually. I'd drop healing focus. This is a meme. I don't know why this is on here. I would rather have curve shot than healing focus. It's like completely useless. I just got Catherine, so that's why she's not fully built yet. So, but yeah, those are all the benefits of curve shot, and why it's good to run on, you know, paladins, cavs, all the flying units. It's just good to have. Every one of your units should have a bow, to be honest. If you want to just like increase your effective range, there's no downside. You know, you still can have a bunch of different weapons. So like in this case, weapons I absolutely need. I would say Silver Bow Plus, Iron Lance, and then Silver Lance Plus. I could drop the Longbow, Training Lance, and Steel Lance. Training Lance and Steel Lance I think are like pre-time skip things. Post-time skip, you don't want to run these. Steel is worse than Silver. It has more weight, less accuracy, and less damage. So like 11 weight versus 9 weight. 11 damage versus 14, 75 hit versus 80. So it's obvious which is better. So silver outclasses steel. And then training, I would say you just drop this for iron. By the time you get to time skip, training weapons, you can use them in some cases, but they're usually too weak to use. Sometimes they're not. Sometimes you can still kill things with them. But iron's just way more consistent. It's also more accurate. So some things to consider. But yeah, that's why curve shot is overpowered. The use case, like being able to hit and escape, break down enemy positions over time. Hugely useful. I use this in all my maddening runs, whether I'm doing a challenge run where I'm not allowing monastery, auxiliary, or paralog, or whether I'm just doing a casual maddening run. And by casual, I don't mean casual mode. I always play in classic maddening. But like, you know, I'm allowed to do monastery and auxiliary and stuff like that. But yeah, that's it for this video. Definitely let me know what you think and what you think about curve shot and bows in general. And also like the video and subscribe if you enjoyed this or found this interesting. I greatly appreciate it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.